blacks are the chosen race. What about white people?
I would have to ask you that. What about white people?
Oh, I'm asking. We're both human beings. Blood that runs through your veins is equally as red as the blood that runs through mine. Do you think you're in some way, shape, manner, or form superior to me?
Of course.
You are. So all black people are superior to white people?
By God's own ordination, yes.
Mm-hmm. Then why in our society, for example, is the black race or African Americans experiencing so many problems that they're experiencing?
Well, you know the answer to that, and the...
No, I know. That's why I'm asking the question.
The cynical tone in your voice doesn't erase the fact that you know. It's due to the wickedness of white America. White people all over the world, white people all over the world have gone into the house of black people, brown people, and red people, robbed them of a knowledge of self, taken their land over, renamed the land, colonized them, enslaved them, and put them under their yoke and way. So whites are in the superior position, no matter what the social, political, economic, or religious order, because of the wickedness and the underhandedness of the white man the world over.
Sir, but not all white people are evil, wicked, or endorsing. Sir, I have never enslaved any human being. Let me finish my point now. I've never enslaved any black person in my life, nor would I endorse that or support that. I certainly look and view the slavery or the history of slavery in this country, for example, as evil, reprehensible, against the will of God in our society. Many white people fought for the freedom of slaves. Many people risked their lives, as did Harriet Tubman, during the Underground Railroad, to see to it that that evil was changed in our society, and I think that was a good thing. I think when you look at the marches of Martin Luther King, white, black, together marched for equal justice in our society. Certainly, you're not going to impugn the whole race of white people, are you?
What I am going to say after such a strong statement is that whenever there is any sign of what even appears to be righteousness and that which appears to be a spirit for justice and fair play and fair dealing, I am not one who would blanketly criticize that. If indeed that is your spirit and your personality, and if indeed you can point to many others who are that way, then certainly I would respect that.
Then why should I have respect for you if you don't equally respect me in that vein, if you look at yourself as far superior to me?
I am not one who would just look at myself far superior to you, but let me point this out to you. White people, you should be having this show with one of your own. White people teach that they are the father of medicine, the father of music, the father of history, the father of philosophy, the father of the sciences, the father of all of the disciplines of the world. I think that is a very ethnocentric and a very racist, white supremacist view. They teach us that angel food cake is white, devil's food cake is black. You wear white to weddings and you wear black to funerals. It's not good to lie, buddy, but if you must lie, it's all right if you tell a little white lie. If one is the black sheep of the family, blackball you, blackmail you. If I go to the pool room for a little game of pool, you got a white shiny ball on the table, knocking the hell out of the black ball, the brown ball, the red ball, and all of the balls of color. And the worst ball on the table is the black ball. If I go to church, you've got a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, pale-skinned white Jesus, when the Bible says that Jesus is a man with nappy hair and black skin. So white supremacy runs throughout every phase of white society the world over. So my position on this show this morning is not to establish some grandiose and way out black supremacy, but to fight white supremacy and meet it head on.
And do you think most Americans, especially white America, is racist and against you to the degree that you're...
Of course, most white Americans.
What percentage would you say?
The United States government boasts about the fact that it is a government where where the majority rules and the minority has to go along with.
So what degree of Americans...
So if you have an overwhelming majority of white folks who are so fair and good-hearted in America, why haven't your overwhelming majority of white folks stepped forward to do something about the wretched condition of black people here in America?
Oh, haven't we made some strides in terms of...
No strides
since 1960, none at all.
No, let me say why I mean that.
I would like you to explain that.
During Reconstruction here in America, there was a civil rights bill passed at that time. Black people held all kinds of political positions, and it looked like a period of political turn after slavery for black people in this country. There was even a voters' rights bill, and all of that was passed. But when white folks got sick of that, they blocked the doors of Congress. They drove black people out of all the political positions. And so 100 years after that civil rights bill, another civil rights bill had to be formed and fashioned. Now we're debating and arguing with George Bush over the voters' rights bill. We already had one. That means it wasn't worth the paper that it was written on. Look at all the treaties that the white man signed with our brothers and sisters, the Red Indians. Treaties that would wrap around the globe and then some, and broke every treaty that he signed with the Indians. We can't trust that anymore. Can't trust it.
Let me ask you this: why is it then that so many? Let me ask you a question: why is it then that so many African Americans today are making it in an inclusive society? Why are they becoming successful? Why are they prospering? If America were as racist as you're describing it today, I'm talking about mainstreams like Oprah Winfrey, the multitude of talented black African American athletes in our society, the talented African American business people in our society, the Colin Powells, the Arsenio Halls, and the list, the Bill Cosbys, the list goes on and on and on. Are these all Uncle Toms? Have these people sold out? How would you describe and categorize these successful blacks in our society?
These are very God-gifted and very talented black people. But they are also, Mr. Hannity, exceptions to the rule. They do not reflect, nor do they represent the poor, suffering masses of black people.
Well, why aren't you there? Why aren't you there helping them instead of creating this animosity and hatred and race divisiveness?
We create no animosity and hatred.
It's not animosity. You're not creating animosity to white people listening to this program when you arrogantly step on your high horse and say that you're superior to whites?
I'm not concerned with what white people think about what I'm saying on your program, nor am I concerned about what you say and what you think. But let me point this out to you.
Yes, sir.
Over 20 years ago, President Lyndon Baines Johnson organized the Kerner Commission. And the Kerner Commission, this prestigious, pristine presidential commission, was to go out and study throughout America and determine the main problems in America dealing with the races. They came back with conclusive proof to the president and to the White House that the number one problem in America today is white racism. They said there are two major situations here. Two Americas, one black and one white, separate and unequal. 20 years later, today, the Kerner Commission has reconvened, and they say that the problems of yesterday are worse today than they were yesterday. It makes no difference that black people are mayors and that black people are public elected officials. The masses of black people are still catching hell, and if our condition is worse, in spite of all of these, what appears to be surface window dressing gains, then it really means nothing.
Oh, so these people are just flukes, just very talented people that have...
Well, I'm not going to sit here and let some devil attempt to put me in a position
I'm a devil?
where I'm criticizing my own people.
Am I a devil?
You're attempting some devilishment on this program.
I'm
you
a
want
devil?
me to speak against my sister Oprah Winfrey. You want me to speak against my brother Bill Cosby.
No, sir.
You think I'm some lightweight, so you want to push me in a corner to say something against him. That is a devil who would try that.
So I'm a devil.
You're acting like
I'm
one.
acting
Are
like
you
a
one?
devil. No, sir, I'm not a devil.
Well, don't act like
So
one.
I'm not acting like
Hannity.
No, sir, let me tell you. Let me tell you, sir, I admire the talents and abilities and the contributions of African Americans, wherever they might come from. See, my vision, sir, of America is far different than yours. As you see, I see this
Should be.
But what I see is, well, I don't think so. I think America is meant to be an inclusive nation where all people can prosper and be successful.
You didn't start out that way.
Well, if you let me finish my thoughts, I allow you to speak uninterrupted here.
Certainly, go right ahead.
What I'm trying to point out to you is that if America is going to be inclusive, if we're going to create this avenue or window of opportunity for all people, what I would like to see, instead of the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or some of the racist bigotry that you're spewing on the program today, I would much prefer that we see black, white, decent, good, wholesome Americans that believe in values that are strong, family-oriented, that will keep this nation strong, going forward, working together, and becoming successful. You don't share that vision. You would much prefer the separatist vision.
Would you like for me to speak on what I do feel, rather than you be my spokesman?
I'll tell you what, as soon as
Are
we
you my national assistant?
Would you like me to be?
No, sir.
Considering I'm a devil, you wouldn't want that to happen. We'll take a break.
The devil is my national assistant.
I'm a devil. Come back, we'll talk more with Khalid Abdul Muhammad. He's a national assistant to Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam, and we'll open up the telephone lines this morning as well. If you'd like to be on the program from Huntsville, all of Madison County, 830-2277, 830-2277. Toll free this morning if you're on cellular 1 at star 770, and you can join us from Limestone County, 232-3911. WVNN News Talk time now is 10:20. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More of the Sean Hannity Devil program coming up next, right here on AM 770 WVNN. Now, good morning and thank you for listening to AM 770, the Sean Hannity program. Some categorize this as the Devil's program as we talk about the issues each Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, Monday through Friday. You can join us 2 to 4 in the afternoon as we have our in-depth dialogue and discussion about the issues of the day. KHALID Abdul Muhammad joins us, National Assistant to the, you don't like to call him Reverend, but to Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of
Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Minister Louis Farrakhan. And we're talking during the break that you find it interesting. What do you want for the Nation of Islam? You want a separate nation, is that right?
We want freedom and independence, however that can be achieved.
Mm-hmm.
If indeed white people are willing to go through the painful and painstaking process of mental and spiritual and moral and ethical change, then indeed we as black people, since we've been here in America, we have fought for many years to be included in the mainstream of white America. Now we have determined that as God's hand is stretched out of judgment against America, that we must do something for ourselves and we must build a nation of our own. That is not to say that it is to be a nation so separate until we want to rule over white people. We have no desire to rule white people. We want to express kujichagulia, or self-determination, over our own destiny. If we have a hospital and white people are ill or need attention, they would be welcomed into our hospital and we wouldn't use them as guinea pigs the way they use us in their hospitals today. If you need a loan and you're qualified and you came to the black bank, we wouldn't redline the districts the way you've done against us. If in our political structure, we wouldn't set up gerrymandering and all of the redistricting in our system, we would have fairness. We could never treat white people the way they treated us because God just didn't make us that way. He just didn't give us that kind of heart.
Let me ask you a question. If I were to say all blacks were drug addicts because of the actions of the few, would you find that offensive? Because there are black drug addicts in our society.
Anything offensive that white people say.
Okay,
If you said that, sir, it would be all right with me.
Okay, let's say a black person said that. Would you find that offensive?
No, sir. If a black person said that, I would know that they have been robbed of a knowledge of self. They've been brainwashed by your people, and we would take the time and the love and give some care and sensitivity to the situation to try to open their eyes.
Well, the point I'm trying to get to here is that bottom line is the way you talk about white people, you put them all in this one category as if they're all racist. They're all against black people. You're imputing the character of the white race.
I believe that there are some white people who do good.
You do?
I believe that I don't know if they are good, but I do know that there are some white people who do good. But let me say this, you've got to understand the sensitive nature of this. When white people came to America, they didn't just come in showing open hatred for the Indians and just killing Indians and mowing them down. They came in smiling at them, winking at them. They pretended that there was loving, caring, and sharing. The Indians taught them agriculture, taught them of their customs and ways. They even intermarried. But as soon as the Indian dropped his guard and the white man learned the ways of the Indian, they destroyed the Indians in a mass genocide plot. Now the original owner of this nation is selling moccasins and blankets on a reservation because they trusted the white man. When the white man came to Africa, he didn't just come in killing black people and showing open, bitter hatred. He came in as a friend and a sincere advisor. He came in and we rolled out the carpet for him. We gave him the best of our society and our world, and now we are held captive as slaves inside of America.
So the blacks and the Indians and the minorities in our society of angels of light and the wicked white people have always decimated any other race besides themselves. That's what you're saying?
I told you, if you're not my national assistant, you're certainly my Huntsville spokesman.
I'm your Huntsville spokesman.
I couldn't have said it any better than that, John.
That's your viewpoint on that.
That's your viewpoint, and I like it.
You like that? I like it. It's not my viewpoint, though, because what I hear in you is somebody who's extremely racist, biased, and bigoted. And
I'm not extremely racist, biased, and bigoted.
Well, you are racist.
You cannot compare me with the Klan.
No, I certainly could. Absolutely.
No one has ever enslaved the Ku Klux Klan or David Duke or the skinhead. No one has ever robbed them of their name, their language, their religion, their culture, God. No one has done anything to them.
Let me ask you a question. How long are you going to stay in the past? How long are you going to stay in the past? When are you going to move
in
forward?
The present. I just gave you the report from the Kerner Commission. We also have here the National Urban League, State of Black America. Jet Magazine just did a study that was done across the nation after 28 years, how much of Dr. King's dream has come true, and studies are being done all over. But if you're sitting here in a one room in Huntsville, Alabama, sitting behind a microphone being cynical and racist and bigoted every day, then you don't know what reports are out there.
So you're saying
I'm in another city
are you
almost
saying,
every day.
what city are you in? Oh, you travel around the country every day?
All over, but I'm from New York.
You're from New York, that's where I'm from. But the bottom line is, I want to ask you this. Why in our society, they're very talented and making contributions. Why do you impugn the character of them? Why not talk about the
never impugn the character of them. That's your devilish way to attempt to say that that's
my
what
devilish way.
That's what it is.
So this is incredible. Let me ask you this. What do you think is going to be the future of race relations in this country? You think we're going to have race wars? And are you going to be at the heart of it?
Oh, what kind of silly little childish question is that?
I'm asking, if you think whites are the devil and they've done all these terrible things, do you want to go to war against the white people?
I believe that there are some whites. I don't know how good their heart is, but I do know that there are some whites who do good.
You think
I
whites
know that
can get
there
to
are
heaven?
some whites. I know that there, let me finish my point. I know that there are some whites who are standing up against their own people for the injustices that have been perpetrated against black people and dark people throughout the earth. But I can't trust them the way the Indians trusted them, the way my forebears trusted them in Africa. Even if I closed my eyes, I could never close both eyes. I'd have to always keep one eye open.
Let me tell you something, sir, because I am an Irish American. My grandparents came here from Ireland in the early part of this century at a time when in Boston and New York and in Philadelphia it said outside of almost every shop, Irish Catholic need not apply. Within my family history, there is a large degree of racism and hatred and bigotedness that my family had to go through.
That's white on white crime.
Okay, and there's plenty of black on black crime in our inner cities today.
Nothing to compare with the millions that white people have killed in their major wars.
And you are blinding yourself
mass
to the truth,
murderers,
sir.
the white mass murderers, the white serial killers, and the Gacy's
and black selling each other,
Manson.
black selling other blacks drugs and shooting each other's and drive-by shootings and Crips and Bloods.
Robbed of a knowledge of self by white people.
Blaming white people for their problems. Blaming white people for their problems.
When you take a people and completely destroy them, what else do you expect? Nobody ever destroyed you, but you murder millions of people and drop
I've never
bombs.
murdered anybody, sir. I've never dropped a bomb on anybody, sir.
You're trying to drop bombs on this radio.
Sir, I'm not trying to drop bombs. You're just
too light.
You're a bombastic little statement
come on
of
with it.
devil.
Come on out with it.
What's about? You got a problem? You're getting upset? You want to calm down?
Come on out with it. You're just stumbling and
Sir, I'm not. You're an ignorant fool.
We are ignorant fools, if I'm one, because you are certainly complimenting me.
But
I came in the spirit that you're giving me. I attempted to talk to you in the hall.
I said, sir,
to get you to turn this volume down, to let you know what my true spirit is. But I said you continue to conduct yourself as a devil. And I said to you, as long as you do that, that's what you'll get from me.
Let's go
now, if you want a more intelligent conversation and exchange, I will give you that.
I'll tell you what, why don't you talk to the caller?
Sean is a devil. I will, but I said that Sean is acting like a devil on the program, but he is.
The whiter.
Sean is a devil. He just said I'm a devil. You think I'm a devil, Todd?
I don't think so.
I mean, look, if I'm the devil or if I'm the epitome of evil, so you should...
I don't believe you're the epitome of evil.
I'm just
You're a lightweight devil.
I'm a lightweight devil. I'm a lightweight evil devil here, so...
Interracial marriage, sir.
No, sir.
Are you against that, Todd? Do you believe interracial marriage is wrong morally?
Well, I don't think it's wrong.
Let me ask you, what do you think about what the KHALID Abdul Muhammad is saying on the program today? Do you find it offensive? Do you find it shocking? Do you think he's going to be at the forefront of a major racial war? Are you going to be? Do you think he's going to be at the forefront of a racial war in our society? What do you think about the hatred that he's spewing?
I'm spewing love for my people.